First impression is the last impression, as it is often said. Many students think IELTS Speaking Part 1 is super simple, but here's the thing. If you just give short answers like yes, no, you're missing out. This part, in fact, gives you a chance to make a first impression upon your examiner. It's Abra here with another IELTS video about IELTS Speaking Part 1. This part is actually warm-up for the speaking exam. And the examiner asks you simple questions about yourself, like your hobbies, your studies, and things you like or maybe dislike. In this video, I'll equip you with strategies, techniques to deal with speaking part 1 confidently. And I'll also show you how to give fluent and natural responses to impress the examiner and boost your score. So let me tell you something about speaking part 1, which is really important. It often lasts about 4 to 5 minutes. This part is also called introduction and interview, because it's kind of, ice-breaking session, warm-up session. And the questions are usually very, common. They ask you about familiar topics like home, work, studies, hobbies, and so on. And the purpose of asking these type of questions is to test your ability to communicate personal information clearly and naturally. Some of the common topics that you often find in speaking part 1 are about hometown, work or studies, daily routine, free time and hobbies, food and drink, weather, travel and holidays, social media, music, reading TV, and others. Let me help you with some strategies that you can use while dealing with speaking part 1. You need to keep your answers 2 or 4 sentences long. If you just respond with yes or no or just one line answer, it cannot leave a kind of good impression upon your examiner, and it does not give enough opportunities to the examiner to assess on different parameters like vocabulary, grammar, content, and so on. So you must use natural and relaxed language while responding to the questions which are asked about you. It's a good idea to paraphrase the questions if possible. So if an examiner asks you a question, don't use the words that are used by the examiner in the question itself. Yeah. So you can paraphrase or you can use synonymous words while responding to the examiner's question. As I've told you before, you must avoid answering very short answers. You can use past, present, and future tenses appropriately, according to the situations. It leaves a good impression upon the examiner when you can smile gently and you can speak clearly to show confidence. You don't have to speak too fast. You don't have to speak too slow either. You can just speak in your natural pace and with confidence. Let me give you some useful sentence starters that you can make good use of for speaking part 1. Well, I usually, play football in my free time. Actually, I prefer uh, football to basketball. I guess I would say then you can, yeah, use what you want to say, to be honest, and then you can express your opinion. One thing I really enjoy is, spending time or hanging out with my friends. I've been doing that for quite a while now. Yeah. And then you can complete, yeah, what you want to say next. So these are beautiful, sentences starters, and then you can, add here something you want to express yourself. Some more phrases like this, like personally, I think sport is uh, the best way to keep yourself fit. Most of the time, I watch TV, especially over the weekend. As far as I'm concerned, then you can add another sentence here. What I usually do is, if I remember correctly, something I often do is, generally speaking, I've always enjoyed. So I've given you so many phrases here that you can uh, use them beautifully while talking about yourself or giving your opinion. Some more phrases, like these days I tend to, in my opinion, what I like the most is, one habit I have is, then you can talk about your habit. Actually, it depends on situations when I'm free, and then you can add more ideas here. I can't say for sure, but when I was younger, I used to. So when you have phrases like this in your mind, yeah, it gives you a lot of confidence, and you start your conversation or you respond to the examiner question naturally, and then you keep adding ideas. This is how the speaking part one begins, with some question answer like this. So the examiner asks you, can you tell me your full name, please? So you can respond in this manner. My full name is Moinuddin Khan, but you can just call me Moin. That's the name most people use when they speak to me. Now, if you just say Moinuddin Khan or my name is Moinuddin Khan, you are not producing more sentences. If you look at the first sentence, my name is Moinuddin Khan, but you can call me Moin. So you have used here a compound sentence. Yeah, the but is one of the fanboys. That's the name most people use when they speak to me. Again, it's a complex sentence. So you have used two different types of sentences, compound and complex, which gives more room for examiner to assess your language. The examiner knows that, okay, you can use a variety of sentences. And this leaves a good impression upon the examiner. How may I address you? Oh, what should I call you? So you can respond in this way. You can call Moin, that's fine. It's the name I prefer to be called by. Or you can say, you can call me Moin, which is much easier to say instead of my long name. Where are you from? I'm from Jeddah, a beautiful coastal city in Saudi Arabia. It's a lively place with a lot of history and culture. Again, you see, I'm from Jeddah. It's a simple sentence. It's a lively place with a lot of history and culture. So you're giving them more words, like you're using coastal, beautiful, lively, history and culture. So you're giving, big adjectives, and you're also giving, theme-specific vocabulary. Can I see your identification, please? Yes, of course. Here is my ID. And you can give it to the examiner with a polite smile. This is how conversation is done in a natural way. So after this, the examiner can ask you some questions about your hometown. Okay? There could be many topics like hometown, studies, work, sports. But suppose this is the topic. Okay? And he can ask you some questions related to hometown. Yeah? Like the first question, where's your hometown? You can answer this way. My hometown is Jeddah, which is a major coastal city in Saudi Arabia. It's located on the Red Sea. People often describe it as the gateway to Makkah because many pilgrims pass through the city. So as you can see, again, it has about three sentences, and it has a mix of sentences. It has a variety of sentences, like as. That's again. Let's have a look at the second question. What do you like about it? I really enjoy the seaside because it's relaxing and offers beautiful views, especially at sunset. Another thing I love is the cultural diversity, since people from different backgrounds live and work here. On top of that, Jeddah has an amazing food choices, from traditional Saudi dishes to international cuisine. So you're using different types of sentences, and you are using lots of uh, big adjectives and big words. So you're giving a chance to the examiner to assess you well in terms of a range of vocabulary and a variety of structure. Is your hometown a good place for young people? Yes, I think it's a great place for young people because there are lots of opportunities for education and work. So the response is very simple, easy, and to the point. And it sounds so very natural. The city also has many entertainment options such as shopping malls, beaches, and cultural events. However, I feel that traffic can sometimes be a challenge for young people who move around a lot. So you're showing, something positive as well as something uh, that's not very good about this city, like traffic. So again, here you're using three, four sentences. You're giving variety of words. You're using, topic-specific vocabulary, and also you are using big adjectives. Has your problem, has your hometown changed much over the years? Definitely, Jeddah has developed a lot in the past 2 decades. There are now modern skyscrapers, new highways, a beautiful waterfront project called the Corniche. At the same time, the old town, Al Balad, has been preserved, so the city still keeps its historical charm. So, have a look at this. You're giving an impression to the examiner that you have a repertoire of beautiful words. You have good collection of words, so you can score well in the area of a range of vocabulary like skyscrapers, highways, waterfront, and then you use so the city still keeps its historical charm. Okay. So you're giving a lot of things for the examiner to assess you in terms of words that you use, in terms of variety of sentences that you use, and then related to the content-wise is also very rich. Let's look at question number 5. What's the most interesting place in your hometown? I would say you were starting with a beautiful phrase for giving an opinion. Right? I would say the Corniche is the most interesting place Yeah. So you say Cornick is the most interesting place. It's long a stretch along the seaside where people walk, relax, enjoy. Cafes and restaurants. So you are not just saying it's an interesting place, why it is an interesting place, what people do here. So you're giving a point, you're making a point, you're explaining it well with reasons and examples. It also has sculptures and art pieces which make it unique. Do you think your hometown is a good place to live? Yes, I think it's a wonderful place to live because it offers both modern comfort and cultural traditions. The weather can be hot, but the seaside makes it more enjoyable. You see, so you're giving kind of balanced opinion about, yeah, why it is good, and in certain respects, which are not very good in terms of weather. But then you say, yeah, but when the weather is beautiful, you can go there and you can enjoy a lot. Also, the people are very warm and welcoming, which makes life pleasant. So you're giving, a lot of ideas about your hometown and why you like it so much. Why do you think it's a good place for young people? Or why it is a good place to live, in fact. Let's have a look at question number 7. What problems does your hometown face? So you can say one of the biggest problems, again, it's a good sentence starter. So when you have sentences and phrases like this in your mind, you can start, on a very positive note. And you can start saying something with a lot of confidence. So one of the biggest problems is traffic congestion, especially during rush hours. It is something that everybody knows. Yeah, but you need to practice saying like this so that you can say it in a natural way and with confidence. Another issue is that summers can be extremely hot and humid, which makes outdoor activities difficult. However, the government is working on new projects to improve these conditions. So, yeah, you're using a lot of theme-specific words and then big adjectives and variety of sentences. What would you like to live in your hometown in the future? Yes, I would like to live there because it's close to my family and has a strong sense of community. At the same time, the city is growing and offering new opportunities for work and lifestyle. I think it's a place where tradition and modernity exist side by side, which I really value. Let me give you some tips to boost your score in speaking part 1. You need to be fluent. You can pause, when it is important to do so, but you don't have to do it so long because that's not natural. You can use a range of vocabulary and grammar. Yeah. So that means you can use a lot of different types of adjectives. You can use topic-specific vocabulary, and you can produce different structures, and you can use variety of sentences to satisfy your examiner for the parameters of a range of vocabulary and accuracy of grammar as well as range of grammar. And you need to be spontaneous and expressive. You don't have to think for long, recall, and then say. That's not natural way of speaking. And you don't have to recall because you're not talking about something which requires deep knowledge. You're saying something about yourself. So it's much easier to say. You just need to, speak in a natural way, and you should be using different types of sentences. And make sure that you use, English in a natural way. If you have memorized your answers, the examiner can easily get to know that because he has a wealth of experience, because memorized answers are very different from responding in a natural way. So don't try to memorize. You can memorize, you can learn by heart some beautiful phrases, adjectives, maybe idiomatic expressions, phrasal verbs that you can use if an opportunity lends itself while responding to the examiner's question, but you don't have to memorize and respond to the examiner's questions because it sounds so robotic, it sounds so mechanical. And you need to show a positive attitude and confidence. So you can practice some questions as I put them here. What do you usually do on weekends? Do you prefer tea or coffee? Are you a morning person? What kind of music do you like? Have you ever tried a new hobby recently? So as you have learned the techniques, you can try these questions, producing maybe 3-4 sentences. Make sure that you use variety of sentences, use different types of structures, and to make your conversation interesting, you can just pepper in with big adjectives and adverbs to make your conversation more interesting or response more interesting. Let me give you some final advice. You must speak naturally and confidently. You need to be clear and comfortable. You need to just use your language in a natural way, and this will leave a good impression upon the examiner. You need to prepare ideas, that you can use, and words that you can use, in speaking part 1. You can practice speaking aloud every day because it's very important to practice. As it is famously said, practice makes a man perfect. So the more you practice, the more confident you become, the more fluent speaker you become, and you speak with confidence and fluently. And you can listen to native speakers and copy their style. So the more you listen to competent speaker, and the better speaker you become. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share if you find it useful. And please, if you know someone who is preparing for IELTS, please share my video so that they can get benefited with, and it boosts my morale as well to produce more videos. Here is the link of my YouTube channel.